Hey guys, Nick Krueger back again with another special edition of the Commitment Issues podcast from the Rivals 5-Star Challenge player registration last week. Unfortunately, a bit of bad news to start things off. Even though we kicked things off on this podcast with an interview with the #1 player in the country, Marvin Wilson, the video component of that did not work. We had some technical difficulties. The audio version's still there, obviously. It's a quick interview, and obviously he's the top player in the country. So let's start off with that. We're going to roll directly into an interview with his teammate and fellow 5-star Walker Little, an interview done with me and Woody Wommack. Wrap things up with Jeffrey Okudah, and then I'll talk to you again to close out the show. Hope you enjoy it. Here's my interview with Marvin Wilson. Here on the Commitment Issues podcast with the #1 player in the country, Marvin Wilson, from the great state of Texas, of course, coming out here and being a part of the 5-Star Challenge. Let's just talk real quick about the event itself. How much were you looking forward to coming out here and being a part of this?
I've been waiting for this like almost all year long, just come back here last year, dominating the camp. Now I got a bigger target on my back for everybody that's been looking at me, stuff like that. So, I just maybe been working out hard the last couple of weeks, just going at it hard, just coming out here and seeing all the guys, all dudes I'm in group chats with, just talking with them and stuff like that, just coming out here just trying to be successful.
And we have a pretty good group of our Texas guys here. Obviously you and Walker are teammates, and you and Barron are good friends. Just talk a little bit about the group of Texas guys here. Is there a sense of like state pride for you guys to compete and show that the state is back up on the come up?
Of course, everybody want to talk about Florida and all like California basketball, but now we're here at the camp. Who has the most players here? It's Texas.
That's right.
So I feel like Texas is the best state. Coming in with the most 5-stars. I think here, right? So I'm just saying, like, we're the best.
You play tight end sometimes for 7-on-7.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna try and take some offensive reps?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take some.
Nobody's gonna stop you, right? Who's gonna argue with you?
Nope. I'm gonna just do a couple fade routes inside the 20 and throw the jump ball.
I think we had Byron Cowart here a couple years ago. He kind of did the same thing. And when you come in as a defensive lineman, #1 player in the country, it's like I said. I mean, you're gonna win every argument, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk real quick about you being #1 in our rankings again. You're 2 ranking cycles away from going start to finish unimpeded as being like the top player in the country. Is there a big sense of pride if you're able to take that, start to finish as the top player in the country?
It's a huge pride. Like I take that. I take this. It's like I can't even put it in words. How serious I take this. I just starting off #1. I just want to keep it. It's like it's not hard. It's not easy to keep it. It's very hard. So I got a lot of guys rising up on me, like Trevor Grimes, like Najee, like Dylan, and Barron, all those guys rising up on me. So I just gotta make me work harder because every now and then you can't let these guys outshine you no matter what. Like no matter how good they get, you gotta still stay on top of your game.
That's interesting. You bring up Barron because we mentioned you guys are good friends. I think you guys are rooming together. Did you clear that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting for it to see if I.
Well, so listen. So we moved Barron to the top outside linebacker in the country, and he's within like 5 spots of you. I mean, has the trash talk already started? Like he's coming for your spot?
Man, of course it started. That's my dude. Just been talking with him. You just want to be the best, just like I want to be the best. Just want to keep working hard. If he beats me out, he beats me out, man. That's still gonna be my boy at the end of the day.
So, and there's obviously a few other recruiting sites like ours that do rankings and stuff. You're not #1 across the board, but when you go on recruiting trips and you talk to other coaches and stuff, do they treat you like you're the #1 player in the country regardless? Or I mean, what's the feel that you get being top with us as opposed to maybe what you think some other kids' recruiting experience is like?
Being top with y'all, I think I get a lot of my recruiting visits a lot padded than like everybody else. Getting showed around by almost all the whole coaching staff, being carted around, stuff like that, just chilling out, getting to meet everybody, getting like the special treatment, everything like that. But I feel like being #1 is like made my recruiting visits like that much better.
Mm-hmm. So, as we're coming down the line, down the stretch, and you're thinking about making a commitment and paring down the list and stuff like that. I mean, is there one quality or one factor that you think weighs heavier in terms of what the criteria is in your decision-making process? Not necessarily scheme, environment, whatever. Is there one thing that stands out to you?
Actually my education. I want to be in broadcast journalism. Going into that after I'm done playing football. So whoever has like one of the best programs like to fit me and where I can come in and be successful at, that's what I want.
Well, you're definitely getting some on-the-job training today here, going through all these interviews. Thanks so much, Marvin. He's going to be on Team Spotlight, the team that me and Woody Wommack picked. So keep your eyes out for him and all the videos and content to come.
Here we are, 5-Star Challenge, joined by Walker Little, me and Nick. Of course, our ugly faces, and those of you listening know my nasally drone anywhere. So, Walker, we wanted to have you on. We're doing, a special Texas episode. Nick had a chance to sit down earlier with Marvin. We know you guys are teammates and friends and everything like that. So what's it like having somebody like that to navigate the process with? I mean, you guys can kind of not only sit around and talk about what you like, but you can go to a school, you have someone to hang out with, you're not kind of isolated. Just kind of give us a window into what that's like.
I mean, it's definitely a big benefit having a kid who's going through almost the exact same process as you through school interests and things like that, but it helps to have someone to bounce ideas off of and talk to different coaches, see how they feel about him. If he goes on a visit, I trust that, we have a lot of the same tastes and things like that. He can tell me stuff, so, maybe I might take that same visit or things like that, but it definitely helps having a kid going through the same process, be able to talk about it with and not having to keep it all in.
Have you guys caught coaches in lies at all about behind this view? You guys
no, we've probably never taught. It's more just that coach was really cool. Then I'll go and see him about he was a cool coach. I really liked him, or that coach was a little different. And we'll go see him. We'll agree. We usually have the same kind of preferences on coaches, but it helps just to have another set of eyes and be able to talk about things with.
Well, you guys are, go ahead.
I was going to say, how many visits have you guys actually taken together? Because when we had him here earlier, hey Rob, scooch back. When we had Marvin here earlier, that's the nice thing about doing a podcast, right? You don't care about that part. He was saying, the treatment that he gets as being like a number one player in the country is probably better than like what most guys get when they go on visits. So
sure.
When you go with him, I mean, do you see the difference? What's that like?
When we go together, it's definitely a little crazier, just because there's all the defense coaches, all the offense coaches following you around, showing you everything, pulling out all the stops for you and things like that. So it's definitely fun going to visits. Well, I've probably gone 3 or 4 with them so far, and it's a lot of fun going together and just be able to talk about things and have someone that's relatable with you talk about stuff with.
Mm-hmm. So Davis Mills came through here and talked to us, and he said you're his prime target this week.
Really? That's funny.
Do you know him? What's it like kind of getting to know guys that maybe you've seen on Twitter or in social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, so he reached out to me probably about a month ago before my Stanford visit, and just wanted to talk a little bit, and then we changed numbers. We text every once in a while about things, but he's definitely a big Stanford guy, definitely going to stay committed there, I believe, but he definitely wants me out there with him, and he's a great quarterback, seen a lot about him, so definitely excited to meet him and have a little relationship there.
You talked to Mike a lot about Ole Miss.
This is what I let him ask this question.
Yeah.
This is
so Hugh Freeze isn't real happy with Mike right now. By the way, I don't know if he mentioned that to you, but they've got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, whatever with Tunsil and things like that. Yep. What has the communication been with their coaching staff about that? Have you asked them?
I mean, they definitely came out right off the bat and just told me, there's some stuff that went on that. Nothing to worry about though, and just that they're still the same guys that I've grown to like over there, and that they still got a great program, and they're just trying to smooth things out with me, and they did, and I definitely still highly interested in that program, and definitely trust all those coaches that they have my best interest.
Now, we don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but some of the stuff I think we talked about it on our last podcast episode. It was some things like guys getting a few $100s here and there. Have you heard, you're in the recruiting circles, have you heard about other schools doing that? Did it seem like, I don't know if you know what the allegations were specifically, did it sound like anything out of the ordinary to you, though, being in the recruiting world where you hear rumors about?
I had heard rumors and stuff that so-and-so got paid or something like that, but, most of it sometimes is just kids saying that to get attention, at their own schools, just saying, oh, this coach gave me all this, and really there was nothing there. They just want to act like they're getting all this cool stuff, so... But, usually, there's nothing bad going on. Most coaches know the rules, follow them real strictly, especially with top recruits. They know that there's the obvious guys that are going to get caught and things like that. So, most coaches are really solid and have the best interest at heart.
What's your feeling going forward here as we head into next season? I know I see your trainer sends me videos of you training, outside of what you do with Marvin. what are your personal goals between now and the end of your senior season? What do you want to see yourself accomplish, and how do you think that factors into, what decision you're going to make as far as your recruiting?
I mean, obviously, I want to just become a better player, and a lot of that's going to be at camps like this, going against top players in the nation, seeing where I stand, seeing what I can improve on. But right now, it's really just gearing up, trying to get prepared for college and things like that, getting my body and my technique and things like that prepared. I want to be able to go in there with a shot at starting. Obviously, nowhere it's going to be guaranteed, nor would you want it to be guaranteed, because a program that's getting guaranteed is probably not a great program. But I want to go somewhere. I know I'm going to have to work, and I'm going to try to gear myself up for that.
If people kind of giving you an idea, right or left tackle, do you have a preference?
I mean, I'd never really had a preference at it. Most schools tell me they want me at left tackle just because of my length, but I'm definitely just as comfortable at right tackle. I've been told a lot that a lot of people can see me going at right tackle in the beginning, maybe transferring to left tackle. But for me, it doesn't matter. I just want to be on the field and do what I can to help my team win.
Because we see him come in here. I mean, look, clean cut, nice haircut, $1 million smile, right? Well, and then at the Dallas camp, he was just killing people, and then that's when that's what spurred you to be one of our new 5 stars in the new ranking. So I thought maybe right tackle is kind of where they put the nasty side.
Well, yeah, I've got some like inside baseball, inside football type stuff. Everyone wants to be a left tackle, right?
Yeah. I mean, most people want to be left tackle. I mean, as of late, especially after the Super Bowl with Von Miller killing it, right tackle's become a little bit more valuable, but left tackle is definitely a desirable position.
Right. So, you guys look around. You guys look down on the right tackle. The guys are like, "Yeah, I'm going to play right tackle." You're like,
yeah. Well, I mean, you can definitely see
it guard in college.
At regional camps and things like that, especially that I've been to. There's so many left tackles. You just have to wait in line to get reps, and that's why most of the ones I've gone to now have just gone to right tackle. So I can get more reps, get in there quicker, and get my work done. Where left tackle, I'd be sitting in line, maybe get 3 reps. So.
That's why Stanford's in the mix.
Yeah.
He's a thinking man.
I was going to say the same joke. So that tells you all we need to know. All right. Well,
all right. Thanks for stopping by.
Awesome.
We'll see you soon. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging in this far. Here's my interview with 5-star defensive back Jeffrey Okudah. We kind of just went right into the interview, so no real introduction on the spot there as we got things started. So that's what this is for. One more interview to go, then we'll come back to close out the show. Thanks again for listening. Here's Jeffrey Okudah. Just talk about how the experience has been in general with you. Just all the visits you've been taking, just meeting the coaches. I mean, what's been the recruiting process and the experience been like for you?
It's been surreal just because sometimes you meet guys that don't even have one offer, you meet guys that have 50 offers, but I mean, you have to take everything as a blessing. Mm-hmm. Some guys don't have any offers. Mm-hmm. And so I've been just taking everything as a blessing, looking at it as this doesn't even have to be me right now. So I'm just happy to be where I am right now.
So when we were talking about putting the room assignments together, you and Anthony have requested to be with each other. Talk a little bit about the relationship that you two guys have, both being Texas guys, both being defensive backs. What's the relationship with you two guys like?
Oh, definitely. We train with Coach Clay Mack in Texas. He's kind of one of those big DB trainers. Mm-hmm. So just him wanting to be with me meant a lot, because I know last year it was kind of some DBs that I kind of looked up to, as far as maybe Jamal Adams. So it's kind of goes both ways now.
As far as the other Texas guys go here, maybe one of them. I know you can't see through there right now, because what's your relationship like with guys like Marvin, Barron, Walker Little? Some of the guys that are all 5 stars now within the state, all being here all at once. What's that sort of being like?
Me and Marvin, we just like brothers. So I mean, sometimes he'll come to me, I'll come to him about recruiting stuff. We'll just sit down and chop it up. So a lot of those guys in Texas, I mean, Marvin, Barron Browning, Sean Robinson, those are like my brothers.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like does it give you a little bit better picture of what goes on at one school as opposed to the other when you get to go visit one and he gets to go visit?
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, everyone kind of gives their insight on it, and then we just kind of sit down and just maybe form a consensus about that insight.
I think we asked Walker if you guys ever caught any coaches in lies, saying one thing to the,
So it gets kind of awkward over that sometimes, because some coaches send the same message about 10 guys and then try to kind of play it off smooth. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of crazy, but it's so cool.
But it's a little bit different for you as being a defensive back as opposed to being a defensive tackle, as opposed to being a linebacker. I mean, what do you think that you bring as far as your skill set goes because I mean you do it all. You cover, you know, you're athletic as heck. You know, you can hit obviously. So what I mean, what do you think that your skill set brings that kind of gives you an edge and you know, sort of plugs you in better with other different teams that you go to talk to?
I just feel like I'm just so versatile. I can play in so many different schemes. So it's not like, well, he's a small guy, so we can have him on this guy, or he's big but he can't cover, so we can't have him on this guy. I mean, I can just do it all, and I play with a high intensity. So I mean, I feel like just having those traits can help me play in any scheme.
Is there one thing about the camp here that you're going to do this weekend that you think? I mean, obviously you don't have too much to prove, being, you know, a highly ranked guy and everybody knows who you are. But I mean, is there one thing that you're looking to showcase a little bit more with all the top other players being here?
I'm gonna my goal right now is I'm gonna play corner 7-on-7.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna show that I can. Well, I know I can do it, but I want to work my skill set over there.
We we drafted teams to do the 7-on-7, and unfortunately you didn't end up on me and Woody. Somebody took you before we had the chance, because we took Marvin first, and then some other guys fell away because we had the first overall, so it was like 8 picks before it came back to us or whatever. But I was thinking, like, and I don't know if you saw the story that, you know, we put out ahead of the 5-star challenge. I was thinking like a dream scenario would be you and BJ at the safety positions, even though you said you just wanted to play corner right now, because I think that if there's somebody that has the potential to kind of be where you're at next year, it's BJ. Do you know BJ Foster or no?
Not too much. Not
too much, but you have an opportunity to hang out with him a little bit.
Sir.
He's kind of a soft-spoken guy. I don't know how interested he is in like getting too involved, but I mean, do you, you know, as far as the other defensive backs here and stuff are concerned, I mean, do you have a particular relationship with any one guy that you have kind of like a friendly competition with?
I would say not anyone right here, but I know some guys I like to work out with is Darnay Holmes out of Cali. So I don't think he's here. So I'm kind of interested in building a relationship. So
and you know, I guess maybe we'll ask one recruiting related question while I have you here, because I know you and Barron recently took a trip up to Ohio State together.
Yes, sir.
You know, just kind of recap that visit, but also talk a little bit about what it was like being able to go with Barron.
It was great just being able to see. I mean, I know what I feel about it, and then getting to see what he feels about it, and then we kind of just, how do we both feel about it? So that was big time for me, just being someone that can relate to me instead of being with just an adult where they just have their adult mindset, not putting it together with another recruit. That was big for me.
Well, and I guess I know I said last question, but everybody likes to try and connect the dots where, like, oh, this guy is friends with this guy, or these guys are brothers, and they'll probably both go to the same place. I mean, how big of a factor is that with you and a guy like Barron or a guy like Marvin? I mean, do you guys, how legitimate is the conversation talking about maybe we should go to the same place and do something special?
It's big, but at the same time, I mean, everyone knows that they have to make the best decision for themselves, because if you're just basing off someone else's decision, then you might not get the best opportunity for yourself, because not everyone can have the best opportunity at the same school. I mean, I know it's a very small percentage that it works out like that, so everyone just tries to get the best opportunity for themselves. So, but if it ends up being that it's at the same school, then I think that's really cool as well.
Okay. Yes, all right. Jeffrey Okudah, part of a big recruiting class here in the state of Texas.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thanks again for listening to the special edition Commitment Issues podcast, Texas Roundup from the 5-Star Challenge. Man, that's a mouthful. If you haven't already, be sure to listen to the similar sort of podcast that we did with 3 quarterbacks at the event. That was Jake Allen, Davis Mills, and of course, big friend of the podcast, Mac Jones, all talking about their recruiting experiences and what they expected out of the 5-Star Challenge. We'll be back again next week with a few more interviews possibly, and the same great content that you've come to love and expect from us here at the Commitment Issues podcast. So thanks again for listening. We'll talk to you next week.